I think that what I plan to point out is that the boogeyman isn't this big monster out there that everybody thinks it is, right? Oh, they're controlling us by pulling all these strings. Now, there are, and we will discuss all of this in this podcast, but there are puppet masters that exist in our world, and they always have. They've always been there. The technology changes and the people change, but the pulling of the strings has never changed. It's always been there. It's always going to be there, especially when we make it so easy for them. Uh, Especially since I would say the Kennedy assassination, the powers that do pull the levers have had a better understanding of how to manipulate us. And we are just falling into their hands worse and worse. And at this point in time, we are the dumbest that we've ever been as Americans. Now, when I talk about dumb, I'm not talking about your IQ score or your SAT scores or your LSAT scores. I'm talking about how you process and acquire your information, your epistemology. There is no smart person that is ignorant, no matter what your IQ scores are. So, what we have become is dumb as hell, regardless of our IQ scores. You cannot be a smart person and be misinformed to the highest degree. And that's a big part of where we are. We are misinformed, underinformed, and choose to be such, which has created the reason as to why we are the boogeyman. I did a podcast episode about 5 years ago that discussed who was the biggest threat to American democracy. And I pointed out that the biggest threat to American democracy is us, and I have been proven right every day since. We have been and are continue, and we continue to be the biggest threat to American democracy because we are so ignorant, and we choose to be because we just want to hear what makes us feel good. I have never been into politics, never. I've been alive a long time, and politics has been around since before me. And the only time I started actually looking at what you might call politics is when I saw our humanity change. I have always been into humanity. I've always been into treat the next person as you would like to be treated. Make the world a better place one person at a time, one interaction at a time. And when I saw that we as human beings have chosen not to care about each other anymore, and it was blatant, and it became blatant in the last decade, then that's what mobilized me to try and figure out what the hell was going on. And I think I have a good understanding of it at this point. I think I've had a good understanding maybe for a couple of years now. And because I've had things going on in my life, I wasn't able to access the time that it needed to maybe produce a podcast that made a difference. So here it is. Here we are. Um, my biggest point is that I think that the only way American democracy and really the world at large, because if American democracy falls, then the rest of the world falls. It is going to be mass chaos worldwide. And my biggest point I want to make is that we will not survive if we do not evolve. Okay. Evolution is the answer, but we need to evolve the way we think, the way we acquire information, the way our epistemology has to evolve or we shall perish.